everyone, and welcome to my Wednesday live stream. Today, I'm going to be making a large microworm culture. I have this 8-cup Ziploc container that I got, and I'm going to be making microworms out of it. And I have three containers this size with microworms in them. And then I have my really well producing microworm container, and I'm going to be putting the mashed potatoes from these containers into this large one and making a large culture. Then I'm also going to show my betas that I got. I was going to show them last time, but I forgot. And then we'll just do whatever ends up happening. But I'll do the microworms when at least a few people come in here. But yeah, I have 3 containers this size. And I'm going to be combining all the mashed potatoes and some microworms into this container. And this one will be a lot easier to store, so I don't have just the way I have them stored right now. I set a stack of 3, and this one will just be 1 container. Dave Farrell, welcome. Olivia, welcome. 503 Aquatics, welcome. Freaky Fish Lady, welcome. But these are 4 out of the 5, I think, microworm cultures I have. So we'll see how this large one does. Yeah. T-Bones Fishies, welcome. Good morning to you. Good evening to me. It's so cool how so many people are, across the world in different time zones. But I'm not going to be poking holes in this lid. If you're making a microworm culture, you should. I'm not going to poke holes in it on live stream, but I'll do it afterwards. Because you do need aeration. As you can see in this one, there's a hole in it, and then I taped a paper towel on top of it. So there's adequate airflow. This one, I'll probably put 4 holes in it. One in each corner. Eric Y. Rock, welcome. But that's my plan. These containers are really nice. I was thinking about getting a few more and making a backup grindleworm culture, because you always want to have 2 cultures just in case one culture fails. They're really nice, a really nice dimension. I first saw these on Simply Betta. She showed her grindleworm cultures, and she had 3 of these as her grindleworm cultures, which I thought was cool. And they seem like they would store perfect of where I'm going to put them. And you want to keep microworms at room temperature. So they'll be downstairs in the fish room, where they'll stay nice and warm. But I'll get started. There we go. I'll get started. There's 8 people in here right now. So I'm just going to start by taking my container, and I'm going to take the first one. And there are some microworms in each of these. There's some up on the lid, which I'll have to clean up afterwards. I want to show the microworms, but I don't think it can pick it up on camera, which is fine. I have a video about how to set up a microworm culture, and I really want to post it. I just never actually get around to doing that. I have tons of videos. I have a video about a KG Tropicals unboxing. that I wanted to post.
Don't like that, it's smelly.
Why is the audio bad?
No, you are. You said you wanted to show the picture of your stinky worms.
Oh. Okay. What?
I just heard myself say stinky worms.
Alright. So this is the 2 containers in the large container right now. They don't smell all that nice. Okay. I'm gonna join in on this phone and try and show the worms. I don't know if I have a flashlight. I'm sure someone listening will bring me a flashlight. Okay. Alright, so hopefully you can hear me. I'll find a flashlight in a minute to actually show the worms. There's a few worms in this container, but this is the large container that I'm making. It's an 8-cup Ziploc container. Oh. And I have these other containers that I made. I will clean these out and get the rest of the mashed potatoes with worms, micro worms out. And I'll be emptying. Thank you. I'll be emptying this container into the larger container as well. And this is my regular culture that I actually harvest from. And you can kind of see those worms crawling up the sides. Hold on just a minute. I gotta open this container. I can't do it with one hand. Alright. Microworms smell terrible, if anybody was wondering. If you look in that really shiny spot of where the flashlight shows, you can see a bunch of little moving creatures. Those are the microworms. And they're all throughout the top. So, if anybody was wondering what microworms look like, that's what they look like. And this size container, it's not too large. That size container can hold, well, probably has quite a few thousand microworms in there. It sounds like a lot, but they're small. So maybe I'll just do this setting up of this culture on here. So if you were to set up a brand new culture, these are already made. There is a little bit of, I guess, powder on the top, so that's fine. You would make them with instant mashed potatoes, or you can do instant oats. You don't want to use butter or milk or anything. You just want to use water with whichever you choose to make. And with this kind of container, you can fill it up to like there with your medium or substrate, and then you put your starter culture on top. Once you get like a good consistency, and you can see if I wiggle it back and forth, it moves just enough to where the microworms can eat the mashed potatoes. And I'm going to pour this other one in. Big J's Fish Keeper, welcome. If any of you are on my Discord, you'll see that I wrote that I'm planning on streaming, but it is storming. It's not raining right now, but it was raining pretty bad earlier. So I'm just pouring the last container in there. So that's a little bit much for mashed potatoes, but it's a good amount. It's not too much. Patrick Hardy, welcome. So next I'm gonna open my mature culture. Now, if you're setting up a microworm culture, all of this in the container. Hold on. I keep dropping things. All of this in the container probably wouldn't be that much. It'd probably be down to there-ish. Probably that much mashed potatoes or oats. This would just be regular oats. And then you'd put your starter culture in. And what I'm doing, I'm just pouring a little bit of my mature culture right on top. And that should start it, and I will add a little bit extra. Just because I filled that container a little bit full last time I cleaned it, which was, I think, last stream actually, is when I cleaned it. But now that I got microworms everywhere, this will start a good size culture. You should have to switch it out once a month or so. And you want to poke holes in the lid. But this type of culture could produce hundreds of thousands of microworms. Easy. And now that the microworms are done, I'm going to show the betas. So these are special needs betas that I got from KG Tropicals. This is Gil, and if he turns the other side, you can see that his gill, where they flare, is deformed. It's on the other side. There. But he's a perfectly healthy beta, and he's got this 5-gallon fluval spec to himself. It's got some brown algae on it right now. But he's a happy boy. And then down here, this one doesn't have a name. I haven't thought of a name. But this is a lavender half moon. The other one was blue rim plakat. This is a lavender half moon, and this guy has fin damage. He bites his tail. So I'm waiting for it to regrow, and then I'll put him in a community tank. So maybe he'll be distracted enough to where he won't bite his tail off. But this is a 5.5-gallon, just a regular like Aqueon. And it's got a bunch of catappa leaves to help him with his fins, along with a heater and a filter. And he also has aquarium salt in there. And then I'll show the discus, of course. There's the checkerboard discus, and they're about 4 inches. I measured one the other day, and it's 4 inches. And I got them when they were, I want to say 3 inches. So they've grown an inch so far, which is pretty good. That's the pigeon snakeskin. That's a checkerboard. Santarum. The other Santarum. So yeah, they're all doing good. I just recently upped their temperature to 86. And not much has gone on since then, but I thought since I already had the phone, I might as well show them. They're beautiful fish. And The last thing I'm going to show over here with the microworms. Actually, I'm going to move the microworms. These are, what do you call them? Jumbo metal lace. And they had babies. I don't know if you can see the babies. They're just swim away. There's one right there. One up there. Oh, there, you can kind of see that. So, there's 3 babies. And I'm really happy about that. And not much else has gone on with the guppies. Well, I'll just show them. These are the Dumbo blue dragons. And they've had quite a few babies. There's quite a few babies grown out. So these guys will probably be moving to a bigger tank. And I'm not sure how many are in here. 7? Yeah, 7. But those are the males. Very gorgeous. And then these are the Santa Claus. These guys had a baby. And the baby got over here when I redid their tank. I don't know where it is right now. But these are the icicles. Very gorgeous guppies. And then, of course, the muck guppies. These guys have had millions of babies. I mean, there's tons of babies. I can't show the new ones because they're real small and they're hiding. So they don't really show up on camera. But there's tons and tons of muck guppies. I mean, they breed like crazy. But none of them are large enough to where I can bring them to my local fish store yet. So I'm just waiting till they all grow out. And I think they're going to grow pretty slow because they're in a 10-gallon tank. There's like 40 of them. And if I knew where my phone was off the bat, I would show that 20 gallon. Actually, I still have that flashlight. Not as cool with the flashlight, but those are the Platinum Tiger Mosaics. A very nice guppy. They're very active. And they're a very pure line. You don't have to, well, I haven't culled any of them yet. And they all have the tiger pattern on their tails. Hold on. I just got my phone. And I'm gonna go over to the Fluval Smart app because this has a Fluval 3.0 on it. And it's called Wild Angels because this was a used, well, this wasn't a used tank, but we got it with a used tank. And the guy used it for his Wild Angels. But I don't have like a system of, I don't have a really good set time, as you can see, because they're already off right now. I need to try and figure this out to where I can get them to turn on later and go off later. Because they come on so early. But anyway, like there's all these options. Oh, it just came on. There's a pro option, auto, where you can set it and it just goes by timer. And then there's manual. So I'll turn it on. Turn everything on to 100%. And there they are. Those are Platinum Tiger Mosaics. There's a beta in here. A female beta. I have no idea where she is. She blends in so well because she's cellophane. beta, and these guys are like a yellowish. Their bodies are the same color as hers. But that's a really nice color. There's all these different colors, and I'll show them, I guess. So that's completely off. Warm white. That looks more like a yellow. Pure white. I think the plants do really well with the pure white. Those are my onion plants. And then a bunch of mystery snails, but some onion plants. And I think they do what I think they're doing so much better with the Fluval 3.0 light. Because I think they're a highlight plant. And then cold blue is my favorite. Blue, everyone knows what blue looks like. It's an okay color, given that that glows. But it grows algae, according to some people. And then there's pink. But I'll just turn it on white for now. So the plants have some light. So yeah, that's the rack. Not much other than that, so I'm gonna go back to my laptop now. Okay, I'm back. I'll say hello to everyone that came in. Nice discus fish brand, thank you. T-Bones. Multiple aquariums, welcome. Bottom Dwellers Aquatics, welcome. Geek Boy, welcome. Jess means Salesburn Fins, welcome. Man, I want the 3.0, but all the options and settings, I would have it all messed up. Yeah, I have it all messed up too. I need to actually figure it out and set it. I hope I didn't miss anyone. But welcome anybody if I missed anyone. Oh, that's right. When I was showing the discus tank, it reminded me of when we went to this it's like an all-around store. It's got plants like flowers, bait fish. It's got things for aquariums too, and they have a 125 gallon, and I have no idea what this fish is, but it's huge and it's been there since I was born of it. But I used to go there when I was little, very little, and that fish was there, and the fish is still there, and it's huge. I don't know the dimensions of a 125 gallon tank, but from front to back, that fish took up the entire room. That's a huge fish. It really is. I have no idea what kind of fish it is. It looks like a shark piranha. And then there's other fish in there too. There's blood parrots and some other like silvery goldish fish. Patty's Petite Tanks, welcome. Oscar? What? No way that's an Oscar. That thing is like a piranha. Yay, the devil's here. That's very nice to say about Patty. Yeah, I have no idea what to talk about now. If anybody has anything that they like me to talk about, let me know. had something to say because I swore I just got a package the other day that I wanted to talk about. I don't know. But I'm getting a package this week. No, not this week. Next week. Of white worms. So I have to prepare their tank. I have a 10-gallon tank ready for them. And then when my mother gets her axolotls, I will be setting up 2 cultures. One is going to be for red wigglers or trout worms. And then the other one's going to be for night crawlers. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the white worms because they're a pretty large, like a massive grindle worm. And I'm excited for them. I've been wanting to get them for a long time, and I ordered them. Brian, what temperature is your beta tank sitting at? Mine is at 26.8 degrees Celsius or around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I can't keep my betas alive for more than a week. What am I doing wrong? 80? They should be fine around 80. I keep mine, I would want to say like 72-ish Fahrenheit, 72 Fahrenheit-ish, 72, 75. But they should be definitely fine at 80. What kind of water, what size tank do you have them at? What size tank do you have them in? And what kind of water do you have? Betas do not have a heater. I have them in mine at 75. Yeah. Well, it depends on where you live. Because if you live in a cold climate, you'll probably want a heater if it's pretty cold. But our house stays a good temperature where betas would be happy. But I still have heaters in my beta tanks. So yeah, T-bones, fishies. I guess it really depends on what size tank you have, like where you're getting them, if they have internal parasites or if they're already sick. Even if they don't look sick, they could have an internal parasite. Do you have, well, I guess I shouldn't ask if you have adequate filtration because betas can live without a filter. It's not the right thing to do to give them without a filter, but temporarily you can keep them without a filter. Bottom Dwellers Aquatics said, T-bones fishies, you need to get your beta from a new place. Try mainstailsfernfins.com. She's got some pretty male betas. She's also got a female beta sorority. You should get them from her. She's got some pretty cool fish. And her fish are very hardy. You can also try keepfishkeeping.com. Yeah. I got my 2 betas from KG Tropicals, and my mother rescued hers from big box stores. I have soft to medium water. It's a 10-gallon Fluval Flex tank. Is there just a beta in it, T-bones fishies? Is there just a beta, or is there tank mates? And when the beta, since you said you can't keep them alive for more than a week, when you discover the deceased beta fish, what does it look like? I guess, like, is a tail bitten off? Does it have fungus on it, or is it just like out cold and nothing on it or anything? It could be overfeeding. I'm assuming the tank cycled. There's a lot of causes, but how many times have you discovered that You can't keep betas alive for more than a week. Petraman, welcome. No Skechers right now. I think my sister is getting ice cream, so there's no Skechers right now. Sorry for the loan. I still have my father's phone. Yes. So there's no other tank mates. Well, I have a 10-gallon full flex. Maybe it's something with the system. That's weird that you can't keep. I mean, that seems like a beta would do perfect in there. 80 degrees, soft to medium water. For the hardness, 10 gallons. Where do you get your betas from, T-Bones Fishies? That's the only other thing I can think of. And it could be what you're feeding them or how much you're feeding them. T-Bones is good for betas. They come in very warm climate. Check your ammonia and nitrites. T-Bones, where are you getting them? And also, what's your pH? But yeah, I think it varies, like where you get them. I mean, if you're getting them online from, a good source, there shouldn't be any issues. Like I said, maybe it's the system. Maybe you'll have to, I don't know, tear it down and redo it. Maybe it's just something in the tank. Not necessarily another fish, but maybe once the first fish that ever died in that tank, if it left something behind and then the other fish would keep getting it. Oh, here comes the Skechers. I cannot reach her. Aww. Aww. Betas like softer water. Is your tank cycled? How long is your tank running? What is she? Don't eat that. Skechers is on. Look at her. She came to say hi. She is so sleepy. She think I'm a mess. She's kind of just dragging herself along. She's adorable. Her hair gets long in certain places. Like on her head and back. Like her hair will just grow long strands. So cute. Oh, and T-Bones. How many have you, I guess, experimented with? How many have you had in that tank that haven't made it more than a week? A lot of questions. So Skechers is just going to join in for a little bit. She's adorable. Could it be the built-in filter? My pH is between 6.5 and 7.5 ammonia. Oh, okay. pH is between 6.5 and 7.5. Ammonia is 0. Nitrite is 0. Nitrate is between 10 and 20 parts per million. it could very well be the built-in filter. Now, I had so many issues with the built-in filter on the tank. Now, for one beta, it shouldn't be that bad, but I constantly had like ammonia issues because of that built-in filter. So I would say try to take out that built-in filter that's in there and replace it with something like a polyfill or just media or coarse media sponges, and try catappa leaves if you don't use them already. Petroman said, T-Bones, how long is the tank running? Do you have chloramines in the water? I've tried 5 times with betas. Wow. Well, it's definitely something in there. So if you don't have a fish in there already, I would say, do you have more than one tank? Do you have like another tank? If you do, I would say if you don't have a fish in there, to tear the tank down. I would say tear the tank down, rinse the gravel real good, rinse everything real good, and take that built-in filter out, put in something like a polyfill or something, and set it up and let it cycle. Or take media from another tank and swish it in the tank and then add some catappa leaves. Like pretty much restart the tank. Yeah. I would say that's something that you should try. And where are you getting the betas from, T-Bones? So he doesn't have chloramines in his water. .5 to 7.5 is too big of a jump at once. I think he means it stays within that range. Or it is within that range. Sketchers is just all over. If your pH is fluctuating that much, that will kill your fish. But yeah, I would try taking the tank down, replacing the built-in filter, and if you have another tank similar to that, I would measure the pH in that one and see if it's fluctuating, or if it's staying within, like, if it only goes a little bit. Now I now have neons and black and baby black ruby barbs in the tank, and they are doing just fine. Well, that's weird if you just can't keep betas. That's weird. Maybe it's something else. Maybe there's like a certain TDS or something. What kind of betas are they? And if you're getting them from like a big box store, it could be that they're just sick. It could be that they have internal parasites or they have, fungal infections. It's very hard to tell if they're sick when they're in those little cups. Maybe try and get an internal parasite treatment and, get a new beta, quarantine it with that. I got my betas from my LFS. Maybe I should try a breeder. Maybe. I know that I know KG Tropicals isn't a breeder, but they have really good betas, and their betas are very hardy. And then Jess has some nice male betas, and she's also got a couple female betas. So I would check her out for a couple betas, well, a beta, and see how it does. And I would still try replacing that built-in filter, because over time it'll probably become a problem. I know mine was up and running for a good bit, and I never had any issues, but then I just had this ammonia spike, and I could never get the ammonia spike down with just letting it sit, adding, shaking out filter cartridges from other tanks, constantly doing water changes. It was until I replaced the filter. And I know you're not having ammonia problems, but it could cause problems. T-Bone lives in Australia. That would cost him a fortune. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, yeah, I would find a breeder near you that had betas. And then maybe they'll do good. Hopefully they work out for you, because you've already lost 5 betas. Wow. Well, hopefully they do good. T-Bones asked Adele. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure she lives in Australia. Oh my god, Skechers is this cutest little tiny thing. You can just scoop her up with a few fingers. Adorable. I would definitely try and find a breeder. I know there are definitely breeders in Australia and in the UK. So I would try a breeder. Because I forgot that you lived in Australia. So yeah, try to find a breeder near you that breeds betas. There's quite a lot of people that actually breed betas. I would put Skechers back, but I would also replace the built-in filter. Yeah, I would, Patcher Man. Yeah. If anybody else has any other mysteries they would like to try and solve, let me know. Yes, hit the like button, please. I'm gonna try and go downstairs and see if the internet is any better today. Down there. I don't know, show some fish. Hopefully it works. I like streaming from down there, but it just seems to never work. But I'll show the containers that I'm going to use for the cultures that I'm going to be setting up within the next month. And I might add substrate to a couple of them. If I can find my coconut fibers. I have no clue where they are right now. They're in a 5-gallon bucket somewhere. I know that. I found a breeder online in Brisbane, 1 hour drive from me. I'm going to try him once. My ruby barbs have grown the tank. Interesting. Well, let me know how that works out. Did you ever get your stickers, T-Bones? Well, that sounds like a good idea. If it's only an hour from you, it's not too bad. But yeah, let us know how that goes. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna post the link again. And come on this phone and go downstairs. After 10 dead betas, I'd tear the tank down. Definitely. Just received my shipment of live blackworms. I ordered 1 pound this time. Hope they stay alive. The 8-cup container that I showed earlier, I know you weren't here, Fletcher Man. It's an 8-cup Ziploc container. And I would definitely try that for blackworms. Because it's nice and long. And don't put a whole lot of water over them. I found that if you only put a half an inch to an inch, it works really well. Okay, I'm gonna take a trip downstairs before Bob Kaler goes live. Is he going live today? I always try different LFS. Yeah, I would try like a whole new source of betas. Yet he is going live at 6 p.m. today. So I'm gonna mute this and then. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Oh yeah, we're gonna go downstairs after we say hello to the kitty. She's such a good kitty. This is Fluffy. You've probably seen her a couple times. Hi, Fluffs. But yeah, taking a trip downstairs. I'm gonna keep track of time so I don't run over Bob Kaler's stream. And I'm gonna show this little corner of worms. So that's where the 10-gallon rack's gonna be. But this is my small corner. There's 4 10-gallon tanks, and I decided of what I'm gonna put in them. So in this one are my grindle worms, and I'm actually gonna feed them while I'm talking about them. You can feed them with just tropical flake. This happens to be color enhancing. They're pretty old. They don't need, a high quality flake or anything. You can use expired fish flakes too. That's what I feed them. T-bones, your water should be fine. They like soft water, very warm, so 80 degrees is perfect. T-bones betas do not like any kind of salt in their tank. That will kill them. I think it depends on what salt though. I have aquarium salt in mine right now because the beta needs it to regrow its tail. But these are like little discs. And I sprinkle a bunch on there so they have enough food for a few days. And this was a little sample that I got. I think it's from Marineland. You get it with a tank or a filter or something. But that's about as much food as I give them. It is a lot, but I make sure they can eat for a few days at a time, and then I just put this lid over them. It doesn't look like there's any in there right now, but that's because just like an hour ago, they ran out of food, which isn't a huge deal. Obviously, you want to feed your cultures, but they're fine without food for an hour. So I'm going to put these lids back. Alright, so in this first one, there's a 10-gallon tank. It doesn't hold water. One of the sides leaks. But this one's going to have my white worms, and I'll probably move this tank out because they need to stay nice and cold. Like you can keep them in the refrigerator to store them during summer, when it gets hot. But I'm going to be probably taking this tank out and putting it outside the fish room so the worms stay nice and cold. But these will be white worms. This will be set up like next week. And it says night crawlers and red worms on there. That has to come off. I can't wipe it off right now. But that has to come off because I have 2 styrofoam containers for them. And they're also going to go outside the fish room where it's nice and cold. This one, it's a regular 10-gallon tank. It holds water. There's already air line rung to it, I guess. And this one's going to be for Daphnia and Scuds. I haven't decided on which kind of Daphnia I want to do. There's 3 different kinds of Daphnia that I'm debating about. But I'll make a choice eventually. And then Scuds, because they can live together. So I was like, why not just utilize all the tank space? And I could do all 3 of these in this if I just got little dividers, like even something like that. Because I'm trying to make the most of this space. This is my little live food culture corner. And I'll have these cultures. This isn't a culture, it's just some regular apple cider vinegar right now. It will be vinegar eels. But these sort of bottled containers will be sitting on a shelf or a desk somewhere. They're kind of just little mismatched things. This is my green water culture, but I never brought it upstairs, so the algae didn't make it. But not to worry, I have plenty of green water I'm going to take out of there. So I'll have my green water culture, I'll have vinegar eels, micro worms, obviously my grindle worms, white worms, night crawlers, trout worms. This will be Daphnia and Scuds. I don't know if you can keep multiple kinds of Daphnia together. I'm sure if I put like a flimsy divider in here, I can keep a couple different kinds of Daphnia in there. And then Scuds, they'll just be in there with the Daphnia. I've never tried either of these. Well, I've actually never done any of these. Any white worms, night crawlers, trout worms, Daphnia, or Scuds. Because I haven't been doing live food culture that long. And over here in this 10-gallon tank, I'm gonna set it up to be probably a black worm culture. I'm more than likely going to get a pound of worms and then put them in here. And then put water like up to there. Ish, look at the spider. My sister wouldn't appreciate that. But I'll probably fill it up to like there. Not a whole lot of water because they'll drown otherwise. And then I'll put the pound of black worms in there. So that's my little corner of live food cultures. And whenever I do get them, I'll obviously do a live stream or a video about setting them up. Let me catch up on chat since I'm on a phone. I keep a male beta in my discus tank and they do great. My water is soft and 85 degrees. Vetcherman, I have a small amount of aquarium salt in all my beta tanks. I can't use salt, well I won't, I should say. Every tank has a pleca or a fish with sink instead. or scales, and I won't risk my plecos or RTC. Patty, it doesn't matter what LFS I go to, the betas just don't survive with me. So either I'm doing something wrong or it is the tank. But this tank is especially designed for betas, dwarf gouramis, etc. Well, I would definitely. Well, I know you have the neon tetras in there, but if you had a different tank to move the neon tetras to, I would tear the tank down, replace the built-in filter, and then set it back up after you scrub down the decoration. And I'm not even gonna. I shouldn't even bother to say this, but don't use bleach or soap and water. Just clean it with water and white vinegar if you want. The API aquarium salt should be fine, Sandy. Yeah, that's what, well, just like my mother said, that's what we use in pretty much all of our tanks. We have a bunch of it, and I mean a bunch, because once we were getting the African cichlids, we found a bunch of aquarium salt when we were shopping for them. Maybe the fish load is too big. It's a 10-gallon tank. Well, I'm pretty sure he said that there was only a beta in it at the time. I could be wrong. API aquarium salt is fine. The Fluoflex 10-gallon should handle a fish load of 1 beta fine. Yeah, that'd be insane if it would not handle it. I mean, imagine it, this size tank for 1 little beta. I mean, that's spoiling the beta. But you're doing something right. Bottom Jawless, he's got other fish in with the beta. You would think so. I can just not adjust the flow coming out of the filter nozzle. I would get a different filter. Darn it. It's not down here, but I found a pump on Amazon. It was like $10. And you can actually replace the Fluval pump that's in there to be that pump and, just fix the attachments and everything. And you can turn the flow down. Or what I did with one of my guppy tanks, I just did not use the pump. And I took the heater out of the back and put it in the main area. And I used a sponge filter. Tetraman, I use API products. Yeah, I had my L144 and a bunch of guppies. Now the beta is just in with a small feeder goldfish that I saved. Oh, good job. Saving the feeder goldfish. I have 9 females and a 10-gallon. They're doing great. They are. They're lovely. Oh, what else is in the tank with the beta? Sorry, misread that. I was pretty sure that he said he only had the beta in there until the beta died and he replaced it with just neon tetras and black barbs. I have replaced my pump with a sponge filter. And you had betas in it when you had just the sponge filter? Just curious. But I'm gonna head upstairs. These are the lovely live food cultures. They're empty right now, except for the Grindle worms. But they'll all be full soon, eventually, sometime. So, on my way out, I'll show this styrofoam container. I think I have another one of these, but this is what I'm going to be using for night crawlers. This is what I got my discus from Discus Hans in. It's nice and deep. And I'll poke air holes in the sides somehow. And I'll label the sides, night crawlers. And if I have another one, I'll use that one for trout worms or okay, I'm back. Bob Kaler is live. I clicked the wrong button on the phone, but Bob Kaler's still live. I haven't tried a beta since I put in the sponge filter. Well, I would do that. I would test like every parameter, make sure it's in check, and then I'd try to redo the betas. And the 75 has a canister on it that I really don't need on it. Tank only has 3 fish in it. Monster Fish Gal, welcome. Yeah, I would try a good 10-gallon sponge filter, or maybe a bit larger, and just turn down the flow because they'll have more surface area for beneficial bacteria. But I would think that the sponge filter would be better for the beta. Now, I've kept a beta in those Fluvoflex, and I have soft water, close to neutral pH, and I've had no tannins in the water. I've had it running on that pump, regular pump, high beam, and my beta did fine in there. And I don't know if it was just because it was like a plakat crown tail female. I don't know what kind of betas you're keeping in there. I don't know if they're long fin, short fin, half moon, but maybe if they're long fin, maybe that's what's wrong. Maybe because they're long fin, that's why they're dying, because of the stronger flow. But all right, Bob Kaler's live. T-Bones Fishies, best of luck with the betas. And I'll talk to you all next time. Yes, Sandy Fair, I started replacing my filters to sponge filters. Yeah, they're really great. You can run multiple filters off of one. You don't have to have a plug for each filter. You can just run them like off a linear piston pump if you have a bunch of tanks, or one air pump can pump like 4 tanks. But anyways, thanks for watching.